Hello students, this is your science sir. We are discussing the topic of the lesson is reproduction and modification in plants. Okay, today we are going to discuss the subtopic 5.2.3 flower to fruit. How fruit form from flower. To understand how a flower develops into fruit, let us perform an experiment on pumpkin plant. Okay, we know from our earlier explorations that flowers of pumpkin are unisexual. That is, some of the flowers are male while many of the flowers are female. Okay, we can easily identify the male and female flower buds of pumpkin even before they bloom. Once flowers buds appear, immediately identify 10 female flower buds. Okay, tie a plastic bag around each bud so that no outside material can enter. Ensure to make small holes with a pin to allow airflow. Okay, so wait for 2 to 3 days to bloom. Okay, choose 3 to 4 female flowers. Fluke the stamens of the flowers and dust the pollen grains in a sheet of paper and collect it. Okay, open 5 out of 10 bags containing female flowers. Brush the collected pollen grains on the stigma with a soft paint brush. Okay, take care not to damage the stigma. After a few days, we can see that flower in all bags that were not opened at all would build without forming a fruit, while most of the flowers to which pollens have been applied for fruits. Okay, students, the process by which pollen grains reach stigma is called as pollination. The flower that receives pollen grains is called pollinated flower, while the one that did not receive pollen grain is called as unpollinated flower. Students, once again I'll tell you about pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination. Anther is nothing but male part of the flower, stigma is a female part of the flower. Okay, so transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is called pollination சொல்றோம். So next subtopic is pollination. In the above experiment, we transferred the pollen grains from male flower to the female flower. This is called as an artificial pollination. Okay, however, in nature, there are many ways in which pollen grains reach stigma of the flower and is called as natural pollination. Okay, in some plants like grasses, pollen grains are lightweight. Okay, stamens shed pollen grains and are carried by wind to other flower. Okay, insects, birds are also other agents of pollinations. Bees, butterflies and variety of birds however around flowers. Okay, they help to carry pollen from one flower to another. Pollen grains stick to their legs, wings and our abdomen when they move from one flower to another flower. This is called as cross pollination. Okay, so students, cross pollination in the sense இன்செக்ட்ஸோ இல்லை பேர்ட்ஸோட விங்ஸ்லையோ இல்லை பேர்ட்ஸோட அப்டாமன்லையோ இன்செக்ட்ஸோட அப்டாமன் மூலியமாவோ போலன் கிரெயின்ஸ் வந்துட்டு ஒரு மேல் பார்ட் ஆஃப் த ஃப்ளார்லேருந்து ஃபிமேல் பார்ட் ஆஃப் த ஃப்ளாருக்கு டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர் ஆச்சுன்னா அதை வந்து கிராஸ் பொலினேஷன் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் பொலினேஷன் பற்றியும் நம்ம முன்னாடி பார்த்துருக்கோம். ஓகே, when you shake stamens pollen grains fall out. Thus when a wing shake the flower or when a butterfly agitate the flower, pollen grains could fall into the stigma of same flower. Some plants that have both the male and the female parts within a single flowers. So I told you before, both male and female parts of the flower which is present in the same flower is called bisexual flower. Okay, pollinate by this means this is called self pollination. For example, beans, tomatoes are commonly self pollination occur. Okay, even though for example tomatoes self pollinate, they need the help of the insects to create vibrations within the flowers that will effectively loosen the pollen. Okay, one more example is paddy is mostly self-pollinating using just a gentle wind as the pollinating agent. Okay, the agents that are helping in pollination are called pollinators. Okay, and one more answer the following differences between self and cross pollination. Okay, already I discussed about self and cross pollination. I'll tell you again. If it is the self pollination, pollen grains are transferred from the another anther to the stigma of the same flower or to another um, flower of the same plant. Okay, next, plants do not need to produce pollen grains in a large quantity for self pollination. It does not produce changes in the characteristics of new plants. Okay, this is the definition about self pollination. And next, cross pollination. Pollen grains are transferred from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same kind or different plant. Okay, plants need to produce pollen grains in larger quantities to increase the chance of pollination. Okay, cross pollination does not introduce variations in characteristics of new plants. So how the pollination is occur in the below diagram will explain us. Students, you have to watch this diagram. Okay, about self pollination and cross pollination. Okay, next, in many plants pollens have to come from some other flowers. This is obvious in case of plants which have distinct male and female flowers like pumpkin. In some flowers, the gynosium matures first before the androsium shed pollens. Okay, plants such as apples, plums, strawberries, pumpkins use insects for cross pollination. Okay, next we are going to discuss about fertilization, students. Okay, so about fertilization, I'll tell you students, the fusion of, listen carefully students, the fusion of male gamete with the female gamete to form zygote. This process is known as fertilization. Once again, I'll tell you, the fusion of male gamete with the female gamete to form zygote. This process is known as fertilization. Okay, I'll explain about fertilization, students. Through pollination, pollen grains reach stigma. Okay, what happens to them after this? Substances produced on the stigma causes the pollen grains to germinate. Okay, during the germination, a tube develops from the pollen grains that carries male gametes that ultimately reaches female gamete inside the ovary through the style. Male gamete fuses with the female gamete to form zygote. This process is known as fertilization. For about fertilization, students, you have to refer the book, the diagram you can see in the book, life cycle of plant. Okay, how there is the plants is there. In that plant, that the mature plant can produce flowers. From that flower, there is the male part of the flower is nothing but stamen. Stamen only produce anther. Okay, anther is nothing but pollen grains containing sperm nuclei. Pollen grains containing sperm nuclei. Now pollination is occur. Pollens reach the stigma. Pollen grains reach the stigma through style, which will reach the ovary. There will form the egg. Okay, so which means the pollen grains and stigma is fused there. Okay, they forming the zygote. From fertilized egg becomes the embryo or seed. Seed மாறுது. Once again, the new plant will be formed. So this is the life cycle of a plant. Okay, where where is this female gamete? Inside the ovary, small rounded structure, ovules are present. In these ovules, female gamete is present. To know more about this, we should cut ovary of a flower in longitudinal and transverse waves. Okay, if we cut the ovary in longitudinal section of section or transverse section, so we can see like this parts. Okay, cut a ovary of a flower both vertically and horizontally. Observe the ovules. Compare the ovary and ovules from few different flowers. Okay, are there one or more ovules? Can you see any connections between the number of ovules in the ovary and number of seeds in each fruit? Okay, so for example, collect some fruits: tomato, brinjal, lady's finger, mango, peas, and custard apple, and observe. You can see some green part above brinjal and lady's finger. What are they? Okay, compare mango, custard apples, peas. All these are single fruit, but custard apple has many small parts in it. Okay, each with a seed. Okay, mango has a single seed and pea has many seeds. What do you understand from the above observations? Okay, a green part above fruits of brinjal and lady's finger or sepals of flower. In some, after fertilization, sepal will not fall from fruit and remain or persist with the fruit. Okay, and the sepal part வந்து கீழே விழுந்துடாது. எங்கே ஃப்ரூட் வந்து ஃபார்ம் ஆயிட்ட பிறகும் கூட the sepal part will not fall. Okay, And one more example, custard apple. It is made up of many fruits are agitated together. Onna சேர்ந்திருக்கு நிறைய fruits. Okay, each fruit part is thin, membranous, with some granulae like which is edible. Okay, and third example, mango. Mango's outer skin and middle pulpy are edible and sweet. Innermost is with a single seed. Next, fourth example, pea. Fruit is not fleshy but forms a covering pouch for many seeds. Okay, ஒரு ஒரு தோல் மாதிரி இருக்கும், ஒரு பவுச் மாதிரி இருக்கும், அதுக்குள்ளார தான் அந்த சீட் அந்த பீஸ் இருக்கும். Okay, in all above fruits, ovary, a lower most swollen part of pistil develops into a fleshy fruit. Okay, ovules present inside the ovary gets transformed into a seed. Okay, hence now with these observations shall we list the changes taken place in a flower after fertilization. Okay, after fertilization, what will be happen in the parts of the flower? So ஒரு four whorls ன்னு சொன்னோம், calyx, corolla, stamen, pistil. These are the things we discussed already. After fertilization, what will happen அப்படின்னா, கேலக்ஸ் என்னவா பண்ணு, கீழே விழுந்துருதா, இல்லை கேலக்ஸ் வந்து என்னவா மாறுது, ஆண்ட்ரோசியம் என்னவா மாறுது, ஸ்டைல் என்னவா மாறுது, ஓவரி என்னவா மாறுதுன்றதான் நம்ம இங்க பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். which means forced fertilization changes and or calyx sometimes persist with fruit. calyx வந்துட்டு ஐ மீன் செப்பல் வந்துட்டு சில பிளான்ட்ஸ்ல வந்து ஃப்ரூட்டா கூடயே இருக்கும், கடைசி வரைக்கும் ஃப்ரூட் ஃபார்ம் ஆயிட்ட பிறகு ஃப்ரூட்டா கூடயே இருக்கும். ஓகே, பெட்டல்ஸ் வித்தர் ஆர் ஃபால் ஆஃப். வித்தர் இந்த சென்ஸ் பெட்டல்ஸ் வந்து வாடி போயிடும், வதங்கி போயிடும். Androsium fall off. Pistil remain and develops into a fruit. Style and stigma fall off. Ovary enlarges and to store materials and develops into a fruit. Ovules present inside the ovary develops into seeds. So students, up to this the sexual reproduction part is over. Okay, now we will discuss about more to know. The world's largest and heaviest seed is the double coconut. The seed looks like two coconut fused together. ரெண்டு கோகனட்டை வந்து ஒன்னா சேர்த்து வச்ச மாதிரி இருக்கும். It only grows in two islands of the Seychelles. Seychelles. A single seed may be 12 inches long, nearly 3 feet in circumference, and weighs about 18 kilograms. Okay. Orchids have the smallest seed in the plant kingdom. Okay. In plant kingdom, 35 million seeds may weigh only about 25 grams. Okay. Up to this, the sexual reproduction parts is over, students. Thank you.